Hello and welcome to the show. We find ourselves in strange surroundings today as I am doing a Will It Roll on Gran Turismo 5. This isn't going to become a regular thing. It's a little bit more difficult doing Will It Roll on here. First of all, as the camera is not showing any car at the moment, well done. But first of all, the cars and all of that kind of thing is organised slightly differently in here. On Forza, you can go to arcade races and you can use whatever car you want. However, you can't do that on here. So I only have the cars available to me that are in my garage at the moment. And when I recorded for all of this, I was fairly early on in the game, so I do not have a huge variety of cars. So there is no theme. This is just a random selection of vehicles which I have found in my garage at the time of recording this, basically. Also the replays are a lot more fiddly to work with. I don't think there is a rewind button. You can only like restart the entire thing, or at least I haven't found one yet. I tried, but I couldn't come up with one. So yeah, it's a little bit more awkward, but never mind. I'm going to give it a go. And we start we're trying to find a place to roll the cars. Of course, there is no Sunset Peninsula Raceway in here, which is where we normally roll things in Forza, so I had to find a place to try and roll the vehicles. Now, for a kind of a test, I go to the Nürburgring. This is one track that I do recognise from Forza 4, and this curb, this corner that's coming up right about now, is well known for rolling cars. Unfortunately, it's not quite going to work. You can see me here, I'm just trying to experiment with the curves. Now this car is a Suzuki, where's it gone? I've forgotten the name of it. Suzuki Alto Works car. Okay, it's one of those little tiny lightweight Japanese, I can't remember what they're called, like Kei or something like that. I can't pronounce it, cars. And in theory, this should roll over very easily, and I suspect if it was in Forza 4, it would be falling over all the time, because it's very narrow, very tall, so a fairly high centre of mass, so it should fall over without any trouble. However, of course, the cars interact with the curbs very differently. There's a completely different physics engine in Gran Turismo. This is designed more for off-road. There is rally events and that kind of thing. So when you hit the curb, the cars just behave very differently, which makes things more difficult for me. As you can see there, it's not going to roll. It's not lifting its wheels up off the ground. Now, I would guess that is probably a little bit more realistic. And I don't think cars should be falling over quite as easily as they do in Forza 4. I would say that the cars here behave a little bit more, close to realism, or whatever you want to call it, as you get when they interact with the curbs. But you're not going to roll it in that manner. I did spend a while playing through the single player, and all the tracks I've been to, I haven't found one. Well, I have found one, but it's not really off a curb. I couldn't find a place to sort of roll off curbs. I also did try going sideways on the grass. You see a little bit here. I did try better than that, honest, later on. And that doesn't seem to work either, although this car isn't that fast, so maybe it would with a faster car. Anyway, the track which I did settle for is the Trail Mountain Circuit, as I'm sure many of you who have played this game guessed that I probably would for rolling these cars, because the final corner here, there is a very big hill, and if you fling your car at the hill, it does sometimes roll over. There we go. One thing I will say about this game, the physics doesn't really like cars rolling and being upside down. Yeah, it resets the car. It doesn't let you right it. Yeah, it behaves very oddly as the cars are twisting and rolling through the air. It doesn't look particularly natural. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to use this corner because it's the only place I could really get the cars to reliably roll on. I mean, you might get lucky. If you know a better rolling place, then please do let me know. But I doubt I'll do Will It Roll on here again because of the replays are a bit of a pain to work with. Anyway, we move on next to a go-kart, because yes, there are go-karts in Gran Turismo. So I was firing that at the hill. Surprisingly, this is about as fast as that as that other car, that Suzuki thing. It's a pretty damn quick go-kart, I have to say. Although, yeah, this is also very, very tricky to roll. Now, I'm fairly confident that Gran Turismo doesn't actually allow these things to roll. As you will see in this clip, I flied at the curb, and just as you're kind of about to smack the driver's head on the floor, the game just resets it. I don't think it's programmed to allow the go-karts to actually roll. I think if you somehow magically manage to get it upside down, it just panics and resets it before you ever hit the floor. And because I tried for a while after that to see if anything would change, And, well, first of all, I couldn't actually get it to do that kind of backflip again. I did try, but it didn't want to do that one again. I don't know how I managed that. But every time I hit the mountain, well, it was a curb, a hill, not a mountain, is it? Whenever I hit that thing, mound, whatever, I couldn't get it to do it again. I kind of get it onto its side, and it behaves very weirdly. I think it's this clip that you'll see. When I guess there's kind of like a hitbox around the thing again. Once you start getting it on its side and that thing, it doesn't want the go-kart to go over. So you'll see, yeah, look there, it was sort of starting to go, and it just decides, nope, not going to happen. And then kind of righted itself. So, no, the go-karts aren't going to roll. At least they're not going to roll off a mountain. I think it's just going to reset it. Reset itself. Anyway, now, I was looking through my garage. These are all just cars that I happen to have lying around. This is a Hommel Berlinti RS Coupe. There we go. That's what it is. It's a French thing. And sure enough, that did a very, very spectacular flip and crash, and physics is confused. And there we go, it will eventually land. Now, when I was filming for this, I didn't actually know what had happened there. I was using the third-person view. I had been using it for the go-kart, and I didn't change it when I came to this car. And once I hit the hill, and once it started kind of tumbling about underneath that bridge, the third-person view was just above the bridge, and I couldn't see what was going on. So I wasn't actually sure if it had properly rolled. Because by the time I pressed the right button to get the camera to change, it was sort of just landing. So I had to try again, just to be sure. And sure enough, this time around, there we go. That's a more traditional roll. There's more flying when it comes to rolling cars in Gran Turismo. It resets itself again. Yeah, there's a lot more flying. There's not sort of these close calls that I'm used to from Forza. The cars spend a lot of time in the air. Anyway, there's some celebratory donuts from the, or what's it called, Hommel. There we go. I will remember. Yeah, there's loads of random cars. I do like the variety of cars. Up next, what's this thing? It's a Mugen Civic-y thing. As I said, I was just picking random cars, and it goes for a fly over the jump. No, I didn't roll that time though. I was just picking random cars that I had in my garage at the time. And I tried to get it turned around. Yeah, I quite like this car actually. It was surprisingly good fun to drive. I drove it in a championship race or whatever before I tried to roll the thing. It's really quite a nice car to drive. As far as rolling goes, I actually had some issues with this car, and I don't really know why. There we go, goes for another fly. I found another wall to dislike as well, as I slightly bend the front bumper. That blooming wall, yeah. I found another wall to stop me rolling the cars. But it certainly looks more spectacular for will it roll in this. When you when you clout that mound, you certainly do get quite a lot of airtime. I spent a while trying to roll this car. It was surprisingly awkward. I had to get it to go, and again, nope, that one there hasn't really worked. May have managed to, not really do anything spectacular there, which is a surprise. I then tried going from the other direction to avoid that blooming wall to see if I could have more luck. Yeah, kind of approaching from a different, because there's plenty of runoff area over here. But no, apparently not. It's still defying rolling over. It was, it was a little bit annoying. I love the damage on this thing is quite amusing. It's just bent the front bumper in a couple of places, and there is still blooming wall. Still not going to roll. It looks like Grumpy Civic. If it's ever going to show the camera properly, look at the front of it. Yes, I have made a Grumpy Civic. Yeah, the damage is not amazing on this. This is only a standard car, so maybe on the premium cars it's a little bit better. Anyway, after a while, and it did take a fair while actually, which is surprising, the Civic did manage to roll over. It looks very weird when the cars are tumbling in the air. I'm not quite sure what the game's trying to do. Yeah, it looks like the cars almost like hover off the floor when it's rolling. There's some there we go, reverse donuts there. The smoke is quite impressive actually on this game. Right, we move on to our final car. There had to be something silly, and this was the silliest thing that I had in my garage at the time. This is a Subaru 360. It is from 1958, and it has all of 16 brake horsepower. Yes, that is how much horsepower this thing has. It only weighs 385 kilos, because it doesn't have an engine. You might as well be blooming pushing the thing. But, yeah, this is very slow. It has 3 gears, and it tops out at 50 miles an hour. And that's it. That's all it's got. And I was trying to roll it. Yeah, I didn't expect this to work, and it really doesn't. It's just not fast enough. It got onto 2 wheels. It got on its side. I was impressed with that. But no, it's really not very fast. It actually struggles getting up this hill. I think it tops out at 50. By the top of this hill, you're doing about 30 if you're lucky. Yeah, it's really not a very fast car. But it's much better going from this direction as you go downhill, so you get a little bit more speed up. And you've got to try and be careful as well, as once you go into the rev limiter, it'll start it'll cut the acceleration like it would, and you can actually lose a couple of miles an hour. But as far as rolling, no, you're not going to roll. I tried, but there's a little bit sideways there. All of the 16 horsepowers. Yeah, I actually might even have had 14 because I think the 16 is after it was upgraded. Yeah, I went to the upgrade shop. There is an upgrade shop. There is a tuning shop, and I upgraded the engine, and it added 2 horsepowers to it. Now I can't remember if I've still got the upgraded one that I'm looking at the stats in, so it might now have 16 horsepower and started with 14. Either way, it still doesn't have very much power at all. I also put a upgraded gearbox, so it now has 5 gears and it's not bouncing in the limiter. However, I would have upgraded it more to actually get it to roll, but I ran out of money because, as I said, I've only done a few. At the time I filmed this, I did the driving for this, I've only done a few races, so I didn't have very much money to upgrade this car with. I've now got like 10,000 or something. I'm broke, and even with the extra 2 horsepower and the extra 2 gears, no, it's not going to roll. It's too slow. Unfortunately, I tried my best with this car. It looks so unbelievably slow, and it is incredibly slow. I tried my best with rolling it. It did manage to do sort of a wheelie. Look at that. It was a wheeling Subaru thing. But yeah, it's not going to roll. It is just too slow, really. So there we go. That is it. I have successfully rolled some cars on Gran Turismo. Yeah, it doesn't quite work as well as it does on Forza. I won't be doing more Will It Roll on here because, yeah, oh, BMW went past the garage. Yeah, it's not quite as good, and the replays are a real fiddle to work with. I might be missing something, so if somebody knows how to rewind and kind of skip through bits of the replay, please do let me know in the comments section. I might just be a massive noob. That is completely possible. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys, so thank you very much for watching. I will be doing a proper play/review thing on this game next week, probably on Friday. That's the plan. Things can change though, so who knows. Yeah, that will be out on a Friday. However, that is it for today, so until next time, goodbye.